if you want to get more than your fair share of business in today's market, and you're going to need to get more than your fair share in today's market to make it work, you're going to need a better offer than all of your competition. You can't show up and just say, I'll list your house. I'm a great guy. Hire me. And think you're going to get the listing, because that's just not going to work. So I'm going to show you what a better offer is. And what's going to make this offer better is not only is it going to be more enticing and better for the seller, regardless of their condition, of their situation, but it's also going to make you more money per deal. And it's going to allow you to set up your ads the way that we've discussed, in the previous lessons. You're going to be able to advertise that you're going to buy their house now instead of, hey, hire me to be your listing agent, because you're actually going to offer to buy their house now. And because that's one of your offers, because you're going to have several offers here, right? Not all sellers are created equal. Some sellers are going to want to sell their house fast for cash at a discount, and it's going to be worth it for them because of their situation. Maybe Guido's going to cut their fingers off if they don't come up with the money to settle like a gambling debt in the next week, right? Now, all of a sudden, a cash offer looks enticing. And I know that's an extreme example. There's people in all different kinds of situations that might want a cash offer. But the majority of the people don't want the cash offer. But just the fact that you're able to come in and offer it allows you to advertise as an investor and not as an agent. And that means you don't have to put your brokerage's phone number on your website. You don't have to have all the brokerage info in your ads. You're not coming to the market as an agent. You're coming to the market as a buyer. And then you might pivot into being an agent later on down the road. But because you're not a fiduciary for that seller, and you're not coming at them as a fiduciary or with any expectations of being their agent, it helps open the door to make things a lot simpler to bring in motivated seller leads at a low cost, right? So that's why we're going to do that. So here I put together a spreadsheet that kind of shows you how we put together our offers, right? And I'll get into what each of these offers are in more detail here shortly, but high level, we're going to tell every seller that here's our cash offer. We'll buy their house for cash, and this is the number, or we'll list the house on the MLS and they'll walk away with X amount of money after commissions, or we'll do what I call a fix and list deal, where we renovate their house and then sell it for them on the MLS. And I'll get into each of these in more detail. But first, let's address what's probably your biggest question. Maybe you're not a real estate investor and you don't want to buy their house for cash. So how do you get around this? And here's a pretty typical example. Let's say you have a house that's worth $500,000 on the MLS the way it is today, and it would be worth $600,000 on the MLS if a lot of renovations were done, right? And they totaled about $87,000 retail costs to get those renovations done, to bring it up to that $600,000 value. If that's the case, your cash offer is going to be, in this example, for just under $408,000. So the cash offer is purposely very low, and it's not going to take much for you to find a cash buyer that you can partner with that's going to pay you. If you bring this house that's currently worth $500,000 to an investor in your market, and you say, hey, you can buy this for $408,000, because you have a seller that wants to sell you their house for $408,000. If you find that investor that's going to do that deal, which isn't going to be that tough, but believe me, you could just post in some Facebook groups, local Facebook groups in your area. You could go to biggerpockets.com, which is a nationwide real estate investor website. Create an account there and network with some cash buyers. It'll be easy to find someone that's going to take this down at that price. And then they will kick you a finder's fee, right? Maybe you ask for $10,000, $15,000, whatever number it is that you can negotiate with them. That's where you're going to make your money on this deal when the seller wants your cash offer. But that's going to be rare, right? All this is so that you can show them that I can buy it fast cash it's going to be a low number, which allows you to advertise the way that we're advertising for, and it helps make your other offers more attractive, right? So the other two offers that are going to be what you end up doing more often than not are an as-is listing, which I'm guessing you're familiar with. That's just putting it on the MLS like you're used to in all your deals, right? And you make your commission off of it. Or a fix and list. Now, I'll get into the weeds of what a fix and list deal is and what the paperwork I use for my fix and list deal look like in the next lesson. But in general, what this means is you're going to be a contractor and a realtor for this seller. So you're going to source the funds and hire the contractors to get the work done to the house first, and then you're going to list it on the market as the real estate agent. So you're going to make money in two different spots. You're going to make money as the real estate agent. That's where you're going to earn your commission. And then you're also going to make money as the contractor. It doesn't matter that you're not a contractor. Think of it more as a broker. You're a middleman between yourself and the guys doing the work. So using this spreadsheet, you can estimate about what the cost will be to do some things needed to the work, or the cost will be of work needed to get this house up to that higher value. So most of the time what you're going to do is not this intense. Most of the time, you might want to never mess with full bathroom remodels because this is getting more intense. You're going to have to find guys that can do that and manage them. And let's say that's just out of your wheelhouse. It's just more than you're comfortable with. Maybe you just offered to put paint and carpet in the house, some LVP on the first floor, new door hardware, and that's it. Let's say you don't even want to get into cabinets and countertops. You'll just take these out of the equation. I'll give you a link to the spreadsheet below this lesson. You could still do exterior paint, right? You can find a painter. That's no big deal. All right, so let's say you're just going to do exterior paint, interior paint, new LVP, and some door hardware. And that's going to bring the house value up to, in your guess, $540,000, for example. Right now, that seller can walk away after paying you back the $28,950 for the renovations. They could still walk away with $476, which is a lot better than if they sold it as is at the $500. They'd only walk away at $467. So the idea is, what are the small cosmetic things you can do to the house that will increase the value of the house by more than the cost of the work? And then you are going to be the broker that gets paid more, than the renovation actually costs. In this example, there's painting the interior of a house. We got $6,000 in here. You can probably find a guy to do it for 45. Carpet, we got $5,000. You're gonna probably be able to find a guy that can do this for 25, right? So you're gonna have like $4,000 profit right there. LVP won't be anywhere close to $7,800. You probably get that done for $5,000. There's another $28,000. So you get the point. You've got profit built in at every turn, and there's a line item here where you can just build some more profit in, right? So you can make money in that spread, which in the next lesson we'll go over the paperwork to do that, and then you also make the commission. So not only do you have an offer that's easier to sell to that seller, because you can get them more money. You can get $476, where all of your competition is going to show up and just say, hey, we'll sell it as is for $500, and they get $467. So not only can you get them more money, but you can make more money while making them more money, right? So that is what I call a better offer, and that's how I suggest you go about closing these seller leads. Now, in the next lesson, we'll go into some more details on what a fix and list deal is. Just one last thing I want to touch on here before we wrap this one up. The cash offer. Let's say, in this example, we have a cash offer at $416, right, where it's worth $500 right now. Well, in this case, let's say this seller says, no, I don't want to do that. If I just walked away with $440 and I didn't have to mess with going on the market, and I just want this over with fast, but I really need more money than this. I need $440. The other way you can convert this lead like that into a deal is you tell them that you have a network of investors that are buyers, and while you can only pay the $416, that possibly if you're given the chance to bring some of the other investors in your network through the house, you're pretty confident you can find someone that'll pay them that 440, right? If you can sell them on that, you can now partner with a wholesaler in your area. And some New Western is a pretty popular wholesaler that's nationwide. Vertical Rev is a pretty good one. There's a lot of different wholesale companies out there. And basically what they do is they pretend like they're a cash buyer and they just have a really good network of buyers, and they earn a spread between what they go under contract for and what they sell for. So if they went under contract at 440, and let's say they go find a buyer for 450, there's that $10,000 spread that they make. That's a little light. It's probably more like they find a buyer at 460. It's worth 500 on the market today, so they can find buyers in their network at 460, which is still a good discount for them. You go under contract at 440. There's a $20,000 spread there, and you and the wholesaler kind of split that. You brought the deal in, wholesaler found the buyer. We still close with cash quick, and you and the wholesaler get to kind of split that money. So, but if you go into it, if that's how you're going to close the deal, you need to set the expectation with the seller that it's not a for sure deal at 440. You think you can get it done. You're going under contract. You have an inspection period. And in that inspection period, you might have to bail on them if you can't find someone in your network that can make it happen. But you're confident you probably can. You set that expectation. Now no one's unhappy with, you're not getting bad reviews on Better Business Bureau and people hating on you because you overpromised and underdelivered, right? So if you go that wholesaler route, you got to set up expectations correctly. Anyway, so that's the better offer. And here, let's get more into the fix and list deal in the next lesson.